watching Let's Chat.
We are here today with our friends from Allberg Audiology, a Cleveland-based audiology clinic. So good to be here today with you today. Dr. Tiffany Allberg, nice to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I love getting to know about what you do and the services you offer, but let's start from the beginning. What is audiology?
So audiologists are hearing specialists with a clinical doctorate that treat and diagnose hearing and balance disorders, but we primarily in my office work with the hearing element.
What causes hearing loss? I know we were talking about loud music, maybe age. Talk to me about that.
So there's so many different things that can cause hearing loss, age being one of them, but more of what I see is noise exposure. So it could be loud music, it could be industrial settings, so occupational, recreational type of things, from things like mowing the yard. So it can be as simple as that. So I always encourage people, if there's to promote, wear your hearing protection, try to keep it from happening, because once it does happen, there's not a whole lot we can do other than, hearing devices.
Right. So our viewers might think audiology needs would be for our, an older community. But I was telling you how much I love listening to my music loud when I'm working out, and I saw the look on your face, like, uh-oh, that's no good.
Yeah.
Talk to me about hearing loss with like loud music or loud, and maybe what the symptoms are.
So one of the symptoms that, just like you said, is ringing sound, and the ringing sound is usually because of a temporary hearing loss that has happened because of the loud exposure. So people, after they have been around a lot of noise, their hearing will temporarily shut down. But anytime that happens, it will add up over time, and so eventually that will be a hearing loss that can't be fixed.
Right, because I noticed the ringing goes away, and a couple days I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't do any damage.
But it's done damage.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
every time you hear that, it has done damage.
So what about how would people know if they need a hearing test or if they're having these symptoms? And
so unfortunately, hearing loss happens gradually. So you'll get a little bit more, and so people don't realize it themselves. It's other people that realize it. So whenever people tell you, you can't hear, and people say, you're mumbling, talk plainer, or if you'd come and talk right in front of me, I could hear you. So I hear that all the time, but it's usually other people that notice it more. The person themselves, because it's so gradual, they don't realize it. They don't realize that they are having an issue or that they have a problem. But I mean, one of the things is you're turning the TV up louder than everybody else. Whenever it's comfortable for everybody else, you can't hear it. You have trouble understanding on the telephone. You have trouble understanding in background noise situations. You feel like people are mumbling all the time, and people just don't talk as plain as they used to. And there's a little bit of truth to that, but most of the time if you have hearing loss, it's because it's at least partially because of the hearing loss.
And I know in my family can also impact relationships, because I find myself getting frustrated with like my parents, who I think are experiencing hearing loss, so I'm snapping at them a little more, maybe not wanting to talk to my dad but talk to my mom.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that, on encouraging people to help their relationships and get treatment?
I mean, there does have to be an intervention sometimes, but people do have to come there on their own free will, because I can't force them to want to hear better. So there has to be some kind of communication about this before they get into my office, because I tell people I'm part marriage counselor, part audiologist, but it's true, because I feel like people come to me and they don't want help sometimes, but most of the time when they get help, they're like, I should have done this sooner, because it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Just like some of the other things that we were talking about physically. We don't want to do things, but once we fix them, then we see the benefits.
Right. I bet it's not just easier, but maybe there's discrete hearing aids. People think they're going to have this big block on their ear, but talk to me about that, the types of hearing aids.
There's so many different types, and we try to do all of them. So we do, there's receiver in the canals, there's in the ears, there's something called a lyric. A lyric is something that stays in your ear while you sleep and shower, and we just change it out about every 3 months. So there's no batteries or any hassle at home. There's something called the ear lens that we're doing now, which is a little, so it actually sits on the eardrum. You still wear something behind the ear. We do cochlear implants. So we do everything, but like you said, a lot of them no one even notices that people have them in their ears.
Wow. Well, how can people learn more about these hearing aids you offer and maybe schedule an appointment with you?
So they can call the office or they can go to our website, but our phone number is 423-641-0956. They're welcome to call for more information, or they can visit our website at ahlbergaudiology.com.
That's Ahlberg Audiology, AHLBERG audiology.com. And where are you located? What's your office location?
It's 4220 Ocoee Street North, and it's Cleveland, Tennessee.
Perfect. What's the most fulfilling thing about what you do? You know, because this isn't just typical
It is.
help.
It's helping the individual, but it's helping the families, and just I love hearing the different ways that people are hearing better. I love, you know, I love seeing people come out of their shell and start enjoying social activities and conversations, and I just love how it affects that person and how it increases their confidence, but also how their family is so much happier when they can hear better.
See, you truly are, you know, you really are a counselor when you think about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
So nice to meet you and have you on the show. Make sure everyone checks them out. AhlbergAudiology.com, AHLBERG audiology.com. It's right there on the website, 423-641-0956. Thank you so much again for coming in. Make sure you check them out, AhlbergAudiology.com.